This presentation will be going over all the necessary information you will need to understand RFM's complaints handling policy. This presentation will give you a brief introduction, including RFM's obligations. It will go over what a complaint is and how they are made, the aim of the complaints handling policy and to whom it applies, who the complaints manager is, and how a complaint is dealt with. Finally, the presentation will outline complaint response timeframes, complaint resolution, and how complaints are recorded. RFM has developed and maintains a formal system for dispute resolution to meet its obligations to members and other interested parties and to comply with our regulatory requirements. As a responsible entity, an RE, regulated by ASIC, RFM must be a member of an external dispute resolution service and to have a process in place for members to make a complaint. The external dispute resolution service that RFM subscribes to and uses is the Financial Ombudsman Service, the FOS. RFM is committed to efficient and fair resolution of complaints and recognises the need to be fair to both the complainant and to the organisation or person against whom the complaint is made. Complaints handling training forms part of induction for new staff and is regularly reinforced and updated. A complaint means an expression of dissatisfaction made to RFM relating to its products, services, or the complaints handling process itself. Complaints may be made to RFM by telephone, written letter, email, fax, or in person. All employees are encouraged to take and handle customer complaints in the first instance. If unsure, refer the complaint to the Senior Fund Administrator or Fund Administrator. The aim of RFM's complaints handling policy is to provide a structure for efficient and fair resolution of complaints made by members and financial advisors. The complaints handling policy applies to RFM, its staff and subsidiaries, and the funds managed by RFM. The complaints handling policy is overseen by the complaints manager. The complaints manager is appointed by RFM and has overall responsibility for monitoring the level and type of complaints received, ongoing staff training, responding to complaints where the respective staff member is unable to resolve the complaint to the complainant's satisfaction, maintaining the complaints register, and providing regular reporting to the board, compliance officer, and the internal compliance committee. The complaints manager is assisted by the senior fund administrator and the compliance officer to meet these objectives. All complaints, including verbal, must be referred to the complaints manager, who is required to ensure the complaint is recorded in the complaints register in the ticket compliance system, ensure receipt of the complaint has been acknowledged as required by the policy, i.e. within 4 hours if received via email or 48 hours if received via a letter. Investigate the complaint either personally or refer the complaint to an impartial and appropriately trained staff member. And where the complaints manager is not investigating the complaint, they must supervise its ongoing investigation and resolution. Where a complaint is received verbally, the staff member receiving the complaint should A. Record the particulars of the complaint, B. Record the relevant facts relating to the complaint, C. Advise the complainant that the complaint will be referred to the complaints manager, D. Advise the complainant how long it will take to deal with the complaint in accordance with target time limits for action and when a decision can be expected or if there will be delays. And finally, E. Keep the complainant informed about the progress of the complaint if delays are expected or experienced. The staff member receiving the verbal complaint should not attempt to resolve it over the phone, be defensive, argumentative, derogatory, or offensive, disclose confidential information, or admit liability. This may void RFM's professional indemnity insurance. RFM will endeavour to write to the complainant within 48 hours, but no later than 5 business days of receipt of complaint. The written notification must include A. Acknowledgement that the complaint has been received and a summary of the complaint, B. A resolution based on the issue raised by the complainant, C. If a resolution cannot be provided, a description of the process which the complainant will then be subject to, D. Contact details of the complaint manager, E. Contact details of the person or persons investigating the complaint if relevant, F. An undertaking that no fee will be charged, G. any remedies that may be available to the complainant, and H, a reference to RFM's External Dispute Resolution Service, FOS, with the address and contact details, and that the complainant may refer the dispute to FOS at any time. The acknowledgement must be in writing and may be sent by written letter, fax, or email. Remedies offered to complainants will reflect what is fair and reasonable in circumstances, legal obligations, and good industry practice. Generally, remedies may be financial, determined by RFM and its directors, or non-financial in nature, such as provision of information, a referral, assistance, or an apology. Once a resolution is reached, the complaints manager should notify the complainant in writing. Throughout the resolution process, the confidentiality of all persons involved must be maintained. Only the complaints manager, the executive manager, the compliance officer, and the board should have confidential information access. RFM will endeavour to write to the complainant within 48 hours, but no later than 5 business days of initial receipt of a complaint. A resolution should be determined and communicated to the complainant within 45 days of receipt of the complaint. If this is not possible, the complainant should be notified in writing, ASAP, that there will be a delay in the resolution of their complaint, explaining the reasons for the delay. If the complaint remains unresolved after 45 days, it should be referred to the executive manager. All complaints received must be recorded on the complaints register, which is kept within the ticket compliance system. A complete copy of RFM's complaint handling policy can be viewed on the RFM intranet under Policies and Procedures, General Policies. The complaints handling policy contains a specimen form letter for acknowledging complaints, Schedule 1, and a specimen form letter for communicating the outcome or resolution of the complaint, Schedule 2. This concludes the presentation.